Hey, good morning. Time for a story with Brian. Here from the minivan, live. I just stopped in at Starbucks. Today's story is brought to you by a large iced coffee with cream. So there you have it. That's the secret to my success. Hey, in high school, I went backpacking in upstate New York, and I was reminded of the story last weekend when I found myself in flip-flops, half-mile off a trail in the back of a metro park, looking for a bridge that my friend and his dad built 10 years ago at a piece of property that used to be the Boy Scout camp where we grew up. And as these three Eagle Scouts were in the woods trying to find a trail that doesn't exist anymore from our 15-year-old selves, our memories from when we were 15, it reminded me of this story where I had gone backpacking in upstate New York in the Adirondacks at the end of high school before I went to college with some friends. We rented a van in August that year, and we drove to New York outside of Lake Placid, where we're going to backpack for 3 or 4 days, come back into the city, get some pizza and a shower, spend the night in a campground, then go back out into the woods for 3 or 4 more days of backpacking and camping. When it was the second half of the trip that we let the youngest guy in the group, I can't remember his name now, we weren't very close, I didn't know him as well as some of the other guys, we allowed him to take over the map, and this is just the U.S. Geological Survey topographical maps, which are accurate, but not always full of a lot of information. It'll show you the grade, it'll show you where the peak of the mountain is, it'll show you where the rivers are, it'll show you where major trails and roads are. And it was his job to lead us to the top of this mountain. We were there to bag a couple of peaks, as the kids would say back then. I don't know if they call it that anymore. But we had our eye on a few different mountain peaks, so we were going to bag those peaks. So it's where you hike to the highest point of the mountain. You find the marker on the mountain, and these are all in the 5, 6, 7,000 foot range. So this isn't Everest, this isn't the Rockies, but this is upstate New York. It's beautiful, and there's a whole range of these mountains in that area. So that we were trying to bag a couple of these mountains. So we get to the top of this one, and we're very excited. We're at the top. We found the marker, but somewhere in the process of finding the marker, we got off trail. The trail didn't quite go to the very peak. Often is the case. The trail will turn and go across, parallel to the ridge of a mountain sometimes before you actually get to the peak. So we went off trail, and the kid that was leading us, he was probably 14. He's the youngest in the group. Could not find his way back to the trail. So a bunch of us Eagle Scouts, all experienced backpackers and campers, we took the map from him and we began our descent down the mountain, not on a trail. Now we're all carrying backpacks that weigh between 35 and 45 pounds. We have our water for that day, and the next day we have our food, our pots and pans, a stove. We're all carrying sleeping bags. We're all carrying a pad, a tent, clothes, extra socks, everything you need in the woods for 4 days. We have on our backs. Me, also carried a Discman with a few discs because I didn't travel far without extra AA batteries and a U2 CD in my bag. So there's a little extra weight in my bag. But we can make our way down the mountain, but you got to follow a topo map very closely or you'll find yourself on the edge of a cliff and have to find your way around that cliff. And we ended up lowering backpacks down with a rope and shimmying down this shrub-covered face to the next trailhead, and then that trailhead leads to another trailhead, and we were pretty haggard. It was a long day. We ended up camping on the side of this mountain. We didn't get off of it that day on a slope, and it was a bad situation. But finally, the next day, we make our way to this stream, and we begin hiking down the stream, and we kind of switched off our boots for sandals, and we get to the end of the stream, which takes us to a trail. And we are looking pretty rough. It's been a long 2 days getting off this mountain, and we're enjoying it, but not the trails that we had planned. When we're on this trail, and we know that this trail is going to take us to a major road, we can tell, and by the topo map, and we can tell we're getting to flatter areas at the bottom. And the trail begins to get wider, and which is strange because in the woods, trails are pretty narrow. It's single track, but this one began to get wider, and then it began to get smoother. Like there were no roots and rocks. And then it got wider again, and then, a strange thing, someone passed us going the opposite way. We hadn't seen anybody in 2 days, but they were pushing a stroller. It was a very nice stroller. It got the big wheels. And then the trail really got wide, like 4 feet wide, and we are looking at our map and we're turning the map upside down. We can't figure this out, and we round a corner, and we pass another couple of people. This time they're pulling 2 kids in a wagon and they're walking a dog, and this is really strange. And then about a half mile farther down, well, maybe a quarter mile down, we turn a bend, and there's a crowd of people in this picnic area, like dozens of people. And we sort of walked right into this natural spring park area, and we looked to the right, and there's a parking area to the main highway. People could just drive right up to this natural spring, fill up their water bottles, and hike in the Adirondacks for a day. That's where we stumbled upon. It was people looked at us like we just come out of the woods after being lost for a week, and that's probably what we look like, disheveled and tired and haggard and beat up from hiking down this mountain the wrong way. But we got some water. We were able to recalibrate our map, and we hiked from the day back to where our car was, and we all live to tell about it. But sometimes it's just looking for the peak. You forget about how you got there, and that happened to us, and we had to take the hard way down. I don't think there's a point to this story at all, but it reminded me of the way it felt when I was hiking on my flip-flops last weekend at former Camp Hook, now Five Rivers, Twin Creeks Metro Park. So there's a story for today. Tonight, a Story Slam in Dayton. Hope to see you there. And thanks for watching the story, and this will be posted to YouTube later today. And I appreciate you guys paying attention. All right. Hey, go meet a stranger, tell a story, make a friend, and we'll try to do this again next week. Bye.